I was originally thinking of titling this video, MMORPGs are back, baby, in celebration of the historic success that Lost Ark is pulling in right now. Now, at the time of this recording, if you aren't following, 1.2 million peak concurrent players currently on Steam for this 4-year-old MMORPG that's finally been released in the West. This isn't me trying to convince you that you need to like Lost Ark. No means at all. This is not a review of Lost Ark, even though I think you should try it. It's absolutely free to check out. If you have any questions, you can always let me know. What this is actually more about is the problem that I see within the industry itself. The language around MMORPGs is broken. The conversation around MMORPGs as a genre, like, it's interesting because no other genre on the internet has so much bad conversation around it, has so much bad analysis around it, and that's what I wanted to explore with you all today in this video, if you'll permit me. Hi everyone, if you're new around here, my name's Brian, but enough of the pleasantries. I want to get into the core aspect of what is actually happening right now. And at this moment, right now, Lost Ark is surging in its numbers. Who knows what its theoretical peak can be? But note that no matter what its peak will be, there's going to be an inevitable dip. And YouTubers and game journalists are all watching and waiting for that inevitable dip so that the articles can then be written. Lost Ark has lost X percentage of their player base. No other time has this been more absurd, when actually we've seen them do the same thing for games that are single player games like Cyberpunk. And obviously Cyberpunk launched with a lot of issues. So take any other single player game that has a lot of eyeballs on it, and you're going to inevitably see that dip. And that is a problem. This kind of conversation is fire. It is burning the earth, scorched fire, because it doesn't add any value to the real conversation. And so this is kind of building up on a theme. Obviously, if you guys saw my video yesterday on why everybody is wrong on New World, you can kind of feel like this is kind of building up towards something. And I hope that you enjoy that video when I release that here, hopefully in a couple of days. This is really kind of about the conversation and how we can hopefully change our trajectory. This is my hope. I have hopium, maybe a little bit too much copium as well, but I believe in the concept that as gamers, we can actually change our own algorithms in life. And all it's going to take is the knowledge of what is actually happening to us, especially around MMOs. So building off of yesterday's video, a lot of people were coming in, you know, obviously dunking on me for my defense of New World as its key aspects. But let's not rehash that video here. Let's talk about the real point that I asked and have not actually received an answer. If you have an answer to this question, let me know, because this is a part of the dialogue that I'm searching for, that I'm hungry for, that I'm looking for an answer. But in what world is this utopian MMO that exists that we compare everything else to? I hear time and time again from commentators, from various, posts on the internet, but we're just going to keep this broad. This is not an attack on anybody's philosophy about video games, but MMOs, they receive the harshest comparisons to other games that aren't even in the genre. And that leads me to point, what utopian MMO out there exists that we're all comparing it to? And the answer is there isn't one. You might have your favorite MMO and you might feel like that is the MMO on top of the hill, but you show me the MMORPG in year one that launched with all of the things that we're going to judge Lost Ark with, that we're going to judge every MMO from here on out and backwards with. And it doesn't exist. It's a myth. It's a fantasy. No one has an answer to that question. They might state their favorite game, but when you actually factor in for time, when you actually start to remember the bad of the past rather than forgetting the bad of the past, you'll actually start to peel away that as a genre, MMOs take a while to mature. Now, the conversation should be, how do we as gamers evolve that? How do we as gamers support best practices for year one MMORPGs? That's the conversation I'm actually interested in having, but yet we get stuck down in the mud, the muck and the mire, and ultimately we end up having kind of this non-productive, non-valuable discussion. So Let's take Lost Ark here. This is what's so exciting about Lost Ark. This is what is going to be some of the things that I'm most excited to see, especially within the commentation and the critique of this game, because already we're seeing people throw various labels on it. But here's the thing. If you're throwing those labels, why? You know, why are we trying to gatekeep video games in this regards? Like, I get that there's a fear aspect. I get that maybe you don't like what they're doing or what monetization system exists. But at 1.2 million peak concurrent players, like that, in my own defense, in my own just mathematics, because I stand against predatory microtransactions. I don't like those kind of games. And especially as a parent, I don't like those kind of games. But as a math person, clearly, I am in the minority when it comes to free to play. And I'm not saying that Lost Ark is predatory and those things. I'm saying the conversation's really freaking hard to have online when we use these dumb freaking labels on every freaking game out there. It's unproductive, and that's why the conversation around MMOs also is broken. So where's the hope? How do we get better? What do we say, and how do we communicate? What is the theoretics of the gaming industry, of the MMOs specifically? You got to filter it down. When I see people compare like single player games that launch fully complete and praise them and get done playing them after 30 days and never return to them and remember them fondly and wish for that time again. But the MMO is different. It's always been different. And it's actually the hardest genre to make. The news that really I should be sharing with you right now, outside this rant, the news that I should share with you right now literally should be MMOs are back, baby. More investment in the genre that we claim to love. And so I honestly think we have bad actors posing as MMO players. Those who think, rightfully or wrongly, maybe they've even lied to themselves, but they think they like the genre. And in reality, they don't. It's a hard part about the online world. It's a hard part about having these discussions in social media, because you do not really know if someone is legit or if someone is faking it. In fact, that actually ends up being a part of the problem in the conversation, is that those accusations, when you hear something that challenges your thoughts, when you hear something that makes you maybe a little bit uncomfortable, is to kind of throw that label in that same direction. The safest thing to do is to just go along with the crowd. The safest thing to be is a member of the crowd, but we have to reject that mindset and we have to start thinking critically about these games. And that's not meaning blind defense or blind support. It's actually more in the middle. The idea, I think, that we've lost in dialogue in these discussions is kind of a root concept I think we learn as little kids. If you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. And what's lost in that, because I know somebody is probably already writing in the comments right now, but what's lost in that is that that phrase doesn't say you can't be critical. That phrase doesn't say you can't be negative. But if all you have is negativity, if all you have is fire and brimstone and hate, and you can't think of one nice thing to say, then shut the up. Today, as an MMO fan, we should celebrate. We should celebrate. If you're listening to these words right now, whether you want to have like an alcoholic drink, because this is a channel made for big boys, big boy pants wearing folks out there, or if you just want to sit here and be excited for the future of the genre, what's happening right now is exciting. And what's going to happen after is frustrating. But we can change that. You and me. Now, as my final thought, thank you so much for being here, by the way. I will not change everybody's mind. That's an impossibility. That's a delusion. And I, thankfully, am not delusional, despite somewhat some assume or think. But with that, my hope is that maybe I'd change one person's mind where I challenge their presupposition for the conversation. And that's my goal. So if I changed your mind in any way, or if not like completely coming over to my side, because as a human being in communication can be flawed no matter what medium you try to do, no matter how much I put into these scripts or these thoughts, like ultimately there will be things that I miss, right? But that's a part of the continuation of the dialogue and communication. So let me know if you moved at all on that needle. I would love it. And if you didn't, you know what? You can let me know as well. You can let me know what I got wrong, because I hope to, in some way, impact the brokenness in the system. That's my hope. That's my hopium. That could be my copium. I don't know. Either way, you can sound off and let me know. Now, on a final thought, guys. I'm going back to the comedy shop tonight. I'm very, very excited. I appreciate so much of the support. I know a lot of people keep asking about recordings and live streams and all that. I'm actually not managing any of that. This is gonna be my actual first time on stage, and I'm very much excited about what I prepared. I hope that it, people in the audience like it. But I really, really am happy that I went the other day. It feels like a part of me that I've been denying has come, I don't know. I feel more of myself in doing so. So I'm going back. I'll let you guys know how that goes. Anyway, I hope you have a great day. I hope you enjoyed said video. Sorry for the bleeping, but if you guys have anything you need, if there's anything you always want to discuss and you don't feel like you can do it in the comment section, you can always reach out to me on Discord or on Twitter. But also just make sure you can take a break from social media. It is not reality. There is a sense that, there's something wrong with it, and we're all trying to figure it out. And I appreciate your time. But until next time, guys, take care.
Yeah. It's time to chill out on the couch and read some comments. That's right. You know me when it comes to Destiny. I'm off with a clan, and I'm glad you're feeling better. Oh yeah.